Hi, everybody. Today we're going to talk a little bit about interpretation and the dangers of interpreting. It's something that has been a lot on my personal mind recently, and I've received some really great teachings on it. I wanted to share it with you guys. So, interpreting, what do I mean by interpreting? Interpreting really is making subtle judgments or distinctions between people, thoughts, feelings, as well as all the external stuff. So I just stubbed my toe. Bad. Oh, my day's not going well. These are things that, at least on a very personal level, I have done my entire life. Especially around things like stubbing my toe or not being able to complete something that I really have a very strong desire to complete. For example, maybe I broke something. I'm handling an object, and all of a sudden it just breaks, and I immediately not only judge myself, I judge the object and say, well, this object must be just absolutely not good. And I, of course, must be not the one that made a mistake. Or the other way around, which is, this object is so precious, and I must be just the worst person in the world for breaking it. This is just one example, but it can actually go even further, where we interpret how other people are feeling. We interpret how other people are speaking to us. We interpret their tonality. We interpret their facial expressions. And all of these interpretations are happening in rapid fire. Boom, 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 boom. And a lot of them are causing us anxiety, even sometimes depression. If we read the news, we're doing so much interpretation on the state of the world, what's going on with our wider region, our entire globe, the interpersonal relationships. Are things getting better? Are things getting worse? We're always doing these types of interpretations. And today, what I want to really speak to you directly about is how these interpretations are never complete. They're never fully accurate. And even if they were to be fully accurate, we actually never really know if they could be fully accurate or not. And a lot of the reason is because we're sitting here, or you're sitting there, and wherever you are, sitting, standing, laying down, wherever you are, and the place that we're in is distinct from the world around us. So the world around us is not, we don't feel like it's us, right? And because of that, we don't actually know fully all of the way that the world was made around us. We don't even know really the way we were made, But to put that, that kind of sounds really out there. Like, what do I even mean by how the world is made? Well, what I mean is, for example, this object, we don't know really if this object was made carefully and with all sorts of attention and love, or if this was made like very quickly and without any love, with just actually the opposite, right? Hate in their in their hearts or something. We don't know. And we actually make an interpretation, right? A lot of us make interpretations on the places that some of our products come from. We might say, our product came from there. That means it's bad, right? Or our product came from here, and that means it's trustworthy, it's good. Again, these are interpretations that are coming from both our personal experience. Maybe we experienced a product from one place before and we said, ooh, I didn't really like that. Or, we experienced a product from somewhere else. We're like, oh God, that was really nice. This is a really quality product. These are types of things that we kind of, I think, evolutionarily And just to survive as human beings, we have had to make these types of associations and interpretations because they've meant life or death for us. For example, when you're in the woods and you hear a twig break, right? That could either mean a very cute little songbird or like a nice little squirrel that's looking at you, or it could mean a dangerous wolf or predator of some kind that's just waiting to jump out at you. So to be able to distinguish and interpret is actually something that is so incredibly human and has been very important to our survival. But at this point, our interpretations have gotten so vast, are happening so strongly, that we actually have lost an open heart, an open mind towards them being totally incorrect. And that's really the point of this little video here. If we maintain just a little doubt about our interpretations, then what ends up happening is we feel lighter. We feel better. Because a lot of our interpretations, especially nowadays, with all of the stuff that's going on in the world, is very negative, are very negative. We end up interpreting things as very bad, as bleak, as distressing. And we don't doubt these interpretations because they're coming at us from all directions. We're bombarded by them. In the news, we read about them. In maybe our jobs, we talk about them. We go to bed and we scroll about them. We think all the time that these interpretations about how things aren't good or how things have changed for the worse, all of this heaviness is weighing us down. However, if we, again, create a practice, kind of mindfulness type practice throughout our days to just start to push in a little wedge of doubt into our interpretations, what ends up happening is we end up feeling much, much looser, much more relaxed. And there's going to be a lot of people, and there are a lot of people that totally think that this is crazy. Why would I do that? This is me. I don't want to change my interpretations. And no one has to change their interpretations if they don't want to. The reason to change the interpretations is that sometimes they're wrong. And when they're wrong, we feel extra bad. We feel usually frustrated. Sometimes we feel very resentful and angry. And the teaching I got recently is so, in some ways humorous, but it's really about cultural differences. And in this culture, that this gentleman was from, he was talking about how they call people large as a compliment, or chubby, you're chubby, as a compliment, meaning healthy. But how, when he came to the West, he thought that was a nice thing to say, and quickly learned that other people were very distressed when they heard being called chubby, for example. So it was not such a compliment here, for example. Now things are changing, and there's movements and people that are changing all of this all the time. But at the same time, the person on the other side, so imagine, me. Now, I'm not a small person, and if I was called chubby, for example, that might hurt my feelings. I might feel like, oh boy, I need to lose some weight. This person is judging me. But if I met him and he called me that, I actually shouldn't have done anything at all. I shouldn't feel bad. I should actually feel good. And so when we start to recognize is that these interpretations of especially others, which we're doing all the time, and it actually really create a heaviness. sometimes someone can say something very nice, but their tone is off, or they're just really, kind of tense, and that niceness is entirely the nice thing that they said isn't interpreted that way by us. And because of that, we feel upset. And then if they say, well, I didn't mean it that way, then we feel extra upset because we misinterpreted. So, again, if we create a little practice throughout our days to just say, hey, I don't really know. I don't, personally. I don't really know. I have no idea if this video is going to be useful. I have no idea if you're going to like it, right? I have no idea what I'm doing here. If I just add a little bit of that into my interpretations, that this is all actually okay, that my interpretations of things being bad and heavy maybe not 100% true. Maybe I'm missing something. If I just say maybe I'm missing something, then I feel a little bit better. And so for you, I'm sharing that with you, that maybe you can check it out. Test it out. Go through your day. Meet people. Don't meet people. Read the news. Do whatever. And just see, we all have interpretations every day. I'm about to go have interpretations the rest of my day. I can't help it, right? We all have interpretations about how this day is going and things like that. But I'm going to try my very best, and I hope you will too, to just be a little suspicious of my own interpretations, so that then I'll be okay with whatever this is today. Thank you so much.